This video was uploaded by a netizen from Baidu Tiaba. On this day, he drove his car at night on the way home. Encounter a strange thing, so I recorded it with my phone. Not far in front of the man's car, a strange thing appeared. This thing looks like it has 4 legs and a tail. Seems to be a beast, but he was covered in a translucent state of smoke. It was impossible to see his gaze. After a while, the figure sprinted forward at breakneck speed, disappeared into the darkness. What could it be? Is it an animal ghost? Some netizens think it's nothing more than dirt on the glass of the car. What do you think? A Mexican man. Hospitalization because of illness. By this time, he was feeling almost better. So he decided to spread out the relief in the hospital. And I took the camera and recorded it. I didn't expect to shoot a weird scene. As the man walked through a room, he was intrigued by the gloomy surroundings, so he turned the camera around, but the camera caught a strange human face next to a wall, and it was a very white face, quite terrifying. The man, apparently unaware of the presence of the face, continued to take a few steps forward. Sadly, this is the end of the video. What could this face be? Is it a patient in a hospital? Or is it the ghost of a patient? It's up to you to decide. The video below was uploaded by a man on Reddit. According to him, he's been having trouble sleeping at night for a while. It's because he always hears strange noises coming from the basement of his house. At first, he didn't pay much attention to it, but things are getting weird. This evening, he heard someone in the basement shouting his name. Despite being very scared, but he decided to find out. And I recorded it with my mobile phone. When the man came to the basement, he said hello tentatively to determine if someone is in it. Then I carefully investigated the inside. But then something terrible happened. In a crack above one of the walls, a strange human face appeared. This man's face was pale with contempt, and his eyes were hollow. It is not possible to determine if it is human. The man was so frightened that he fled the basement in a hurry. After the video is uploaded, many people questioned the authenticity of the video, but the man was convinced that he had indeed encountered something extraordinary. Therefore, he is quite seriously replied to many people's questions. First, he pointed out that he was hearing his name being called. I picked up the camera and walked to the basement. And a few seconds before that strange face appeared, there are also very faint strange sounds. Later, he took his wife and friends back to the basement. But the face is gone. But strange noises can still be heard. He then filmed the structure of the basement and posted it online. And it shows that the wall on the right is not accessible to ordinary people at all. Some netizens reminded the man to check whether the house was built on the cemetery. He replied that the house had been built in 1902 near the cave system of the Underground Railway, and aroused the strong interest of another netizen who claimed to be from Mississippi, USA. The netizen mentioned Harriet in his reply. Tubman thinks the face could be Harriet. Black slaves who died in the abolitionist movement led by Tubman. Harriet Tubman was an important figure in the abolitionist movement in the United States and the leader of the Underground Railroad. He was born into a slave family in Maryland and was tortured and abused at a young age. Later, he was determined to escape from slavery on his own and became an active member of the free black community and the abolitionist movement. Tubman was the commander of the Underground Railroad. The story about him takes place in the decades before the Civil War. In the war-torn decades, in total, 100,000 blacks escaped enslavement, despite the horror of slavery. But the decision to flee was not easy. Fleeing usually means leaving your family. Travel to completely unknown places. There could be bad weather and a lack of food there. There is also the threat of being recaptured. Once they are caught, will be sent back to the plantation. There they would be whipped, beaten, branded, or killed. So what exactly is this face? Is it really the ghost of a dead man? It's up to you to decide. This creepy video, which has been going viral on various online platforms lately, shows 4 unidentified creatures crouching on a wall with cold, pale skin and unclothed clothes, looking like the legendary torturers. And after a while, they move in a weird way, and they lift their bodies up, and they lift their bodies and lift your body up. Jumped off the wall like a frog and disappeared into the darkness. I can't verify the origin and authenticity of this video. If this is true, where did these 4 creatures come from? Where did they go after jumping off the wall? A Japanese netizen analyzed that these creatures are frog people. Frogman is a frogman born in 2006 in the Dwarka region of Nepal. A strange-looking baby. His birth attracted the attention of countless onlookers. And the 4-headed creature is likely to be the same as the baby. For some reason, the body has mutated, unable to integrate into the life of human society. After that, they hid in the wild for a long time. 2015, 2 brothers explored a cemetery in the wild. They found a strange sarcophagus. One of them pointed for the other to see. The corner of the sarcophagus is open. There seems to be some kind of living creature in it. An emaciated hand with fingers that are incredibly long. Sticking out of the darkness, the man was startled. The more closely you look at it, the more you feel that this is not a normal human hand. The joints of his bones seem to be very large. Some of the nails are pitch black. In some places, it is almost skinny and only bones remain. Could this be a person who was buried without really dying? He reached out and wanted people's help. Of course, there's also a malicious speculation that we don't want to accept. That's the prank of these 2 people who randomly open other people's graves. But I hope it won't be the second one you say. Street surveillance of an unknown location is shown. A homeless person asleep in front of the blinds in the shopping area. Shortly after he fell asleep, something chilling happened. From the lying body, a transparent figure emerged. He sat there for a moment, then stood up, turned around, and stared at his body. Finally disappeared somewhere. As this fragment does not have any information available, it is impossible to determine whether this is a man's out-of-body experience. It happened to be recorded by the surveillance. If this is true, so here's the problem. What happens when you wake up the person? The following video is from the TikTok channel. Intentionally quite weird. It went viral online. It looks like a black shadow of a human flying through the sky. It's fast, and it's going in a straight line. It's clearly not a float blown up by the wind. But after a while, it actually crashed into a high-voltage power line lying in the air, exploded and burst into huge sparks. Judging by the reaction of the videographer, him and the people around him, apparently all frightened by this unexpected scene. But what exactly that is, it's hard to say. Some netizens think that this is a cantalonet. Cantalonet is a type of ghost in Indonesian folklore. It is said to be the soul of a woman who died during pregnancy or childbirth. It is often believed to have long black hair, wearing a white dress, and is known for its ability to fly. It also makes a terrifying sound similar to a baby's crying. Canalinette is said to attack males, especially those who are not loyal. However, some netizens think that this is just a group of animals flying in the air. What do you think? Please leave a message in the comment section. I don't know if you have such a feeling in front of the screen. An empty house always seems to feel uneasy, and it exudes a creepy vibe. This may be due to the fact that there are no traces of human activity, such as sounds, footsteps, laughter, and so on. These familiar voices are missing. It can feel weird and unnatural about the environment. Here is a video posted by a Reddit user. The video doesn't have much information, but it looks like they're working for potential buyers. Take a video of the house. Have you noticed? The figure of a woman in the camera, silently through a door, according to the photographer. There was only one other person with her. There is no way to explain where this figure came from. And when they went back to look at the footage, they were also shocked by this scene. I have to say that there is such a scene in an empty house. It's scary. But the strange things that happened in this house still haven't stopped. When they came to the house again, the camera captured something out of the ordinary again. What is this strange white object? The photographer still doesn't seem to notice its presence. This is a farce directed and acted by themselves. Or is there really a ghost in this house? Speaking of the paranormal, positional spheres are a provocative topic. Some believe that they are manifestations of ghosts. Others think they're just floating dust particles or insects flying around near the camera lens. Look at this time in the early hours of the morning in Massachusetts, USA. What exactly is the ball of light caught in front of someone's house? At first, the small ball of light can easily be interpreted as a bug that glows at night. But when you keep watching, it doesn't fly aimlessly like an insect. It seems to have some kind of purpose. On 2 occasions, it hovered over a rabbit. When a beam of light radiates from the sphere and shines on the rabbit sensed something, soon ran away. Then the sphere moves to the left. It looks like it's flying towards the second rabbit. Is it an insect, a supernatural phenomenon, or some mysterious alien technology? This video was filmed in April 2016, a hospital in Sanam City, Malaysia. The photographer was in the hospital, a nurse on a night shift. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He was inspecting the ward. See outside the hospital hallway. There were several transparent black shadows floating through. And the door in the hospital room was pushed open for no apparent reason. She was so frightened that she could only hide in the ward and did not dare to come out. Note, dark shadows have begun to crawl on the ground. Later, they gathered near the door. After that, one of them began to move to the right. At the same time, some white shadows appeared. I don't think anybody would do this kind of prank at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Can we conclude that this is a real supernatural segment? August 2020. A California Twitter user posted a video. A surveillance camera installed at the front door of his home caught a glowing white creature flying around. His appearance is simply a fairy elf out of a fairy tale. You can see from a certain number of days. He has human-like hands and feet. Excluding the audience who identified with the elves, some people speculated whether it would be grasshoppers. However, the grasshopper flies with horizontal wings, rather than upright like the creatures in the video. Others believe that it may not be its feet, but a split tail, and that it may be a sparkling. However, the tails of the plankton are all elongated and not as short as those of the luminescent creatures. The true identity of the creature is still unknown, but what do you think it is? The video below was taken with a driver driving a car. He drove on the road. I saw an unbelievable scene. A man walks down the road, pushing a stroller on fire. Shocked, the driver asked the man what he was doing. The man replied simply, "It's on fire. Watch this video. We just can't figure out what's going on." And, to be honest, the man looked a little delirious. The way he spoke was also quite wooden. Drivers should be aware of this as well. There was no excessive dwelling. Hurriedly drove away. What the hell is this man doing? There is speculation that the man may have been in a stroller. What a horrible ritual has been done, but I don't know why it failed. So the stroller was burned with fire. It is also commonly believed that flame is a powerful force to drive away evil. A man in Japan shared the video. Late that night, he came to the station. But when the tram came, he didn't get on. Instead, he took his phone and filmed around. Maybe he's waiting for someone. We can see it due to the dead of night. There are almost no people at the station anymore. When the man entered the rear station with his mobile phone, the camera captured a strange figure. Sit in a chair. She was black, short stature, but I couldn't see it clearly. It seems to be a woman. Apparently, the man had not noticed the figure's presence at first. When he reacted, the figure had vanished into thin air. What could this figure be? It is said that the man later asked a psychic expert to watch the video, but experts can't give a reasonable explanation either. Could this be someone's ghost? It is also the habit of riding the train before his death. After death, the soul still wanders around the station. This video is from the YouTube channel The Beach House, uploaded on January 25th, 2023. The content of the channel is mostly that they hide cash and some treasures all over the place, then reveal clues for netizens to find, and record the process. But this time in the video, they seem to have photographed something unusual when they stepped on the spot. The owner of the channel is recording a video in a house of 3. The camera caught in a mirror behind them. A translucent figure appeared. He paused briefly in the mirror. Then he disappeared into the camera out of thin air. The owner of the channel claimed that it was a haunted house. It's a ghost they have inadvertently captured. However, many people questioned the authenticity of this video. They pointed out that while the woman spoke, the camera is deliberately pointed at the mirror, and the woman seemed to be unable to hold back her laughter at the end. Do you think this video is real? Please leave a message in the comment section. A young man did not catch the tram after work, and he had to wait alone under the cabin behind the car. Except for the silent chirping of insects and endless darkness, there seems to be something intimidating lurking here. He felt more and more that something was wrong here, and at this very moment. Fourth, the waste spirit. The footage, of unknown origin, depicts a man encountering something terrible while exploring an abandoned house at night. The man trembled and entered the house to investigate. There is nothing special about the ground floor, until he came to an art room on the second floor. With a terrified grin, the man immediately fled to the first floor to observe. And at this very moment, a full-body black motif floated down from the second floor. Can't describe what it really is, but perhaps the man made the most correct decision in his life. The video was taken by a man on TikTok. That night, he came to a public toilet for convenience. A strange thing happened. No. Bursts of baby cries could be heard in the bathroom. The man was puzzled, because there didn't seem to be anyone else in the bathroom, and you can't judge just by listening to the sound. Where did he send it from? The man was puzzled. Every bathroom was inspected, but nothing was found. Let's be honest, this sound can be heard in the bathroom at night. Quite horrific indeed. Some believe that it was the barking of a feral cat, but there are only objections. He thinks that the meow of a cat is definitely not like this. Others believe that it is likely to be an abandoned baby. Men are advised to call the police. However, public restrooms are haunted places, because there's always all sorts of weird things going on in there. And women give birth to babies in the bathroom, and then there are incidents of abandoning it. If it's a paranormal event, it cannot be ruled out that the sound came from the ghost of a baby. There is also a possibility. It's that all the ventilation ducts in this building are connected. The baby's cry came down the pipe from another floor. The video was recorded by an Indonesian YouTube channel during a live broadcast. The man received the information and went to a forest to investigate. According to residents of the neighborhood, lately this woods has reached night. There are always two strange figures haunting. Looks like an adult with a small child, but everyone was very scared. Don't dare to approach. This video is an Indonesian channel on YouTube. The video is of a woman named Grace and her husband, photographed while traveling in Morocco. At that time, they stayed at a hotel called Liad della Russa. Grace was going to shoot a beautiful video of the interior decoration style of the palace in the 17th century. However, this video documents something unusual. We're on our way now. Oh, here it is. It looks beautiful. Did you see that? A man's figure suddenly appeared strangely in front of a mirror. When he appears in the camera, Grace also subconsciously said sorry. But when the lens turns to the mirror on the other side, there was no one in there but Grace. And when Grace cuts the shot back, no one was in sight. So, who is this man? We can see that this man seems to be different from ordinary people. The neck is also quite long. I'm having a hard time finding a plausible explanation, but I don't think he's human. The provenance of this video is no longer known. The same is true of authenticity. Thought the camera caught something. It's a bit too fairy tale. The homeowner should have found out. In his child's room, a necklace was missing. He was on the security camera of the house. He found the real culprit, a transparent, almost elf-like creature, fly out from the top left corner. He took the necklace from the top of the small house, flew away at a speed that could not be caught by the naked eye. Subsequently, he appears from the top right corner, swing there for a few seconds. In the end, the necklace was stolen. You'll need to watch it several times to be able to see his movements clearly. elves from fairy tales, or computer CG animation. Hopefully he'll show up in a friendly way next time. Driver at night on a dark road. There are always inexplicable things to come across. February 2017. A video of a Hong Kong taxi being attacked by a white shadow while driving at night has circulated online. Everything was normal, but at one point a white shadow or something like a white mist slashed by. Or maybe you hit a taxi in front of you. The taxi driver makes a sharp turn and brakes at the same time. Inevitably, he crashed into a tree on the side of the road. You know, there's no reason for a taxi to suddenly turn over, unless the driver makes a mistake or encounters some unexpected situation. The driver changed lanes inexplicably, and the dashcam just happened to capture a strange white shadow. This situation is also too coincidental. There are also rational netizens who think it is caused by the reflection of road signs or railings. Even so, this matter is for the driver behind him. It must have been quite a scary experience. The mother of a TikTok user sent a video to her daughter. He happened to find a good-looking abandoned mansion. So he muttered to himself while shooting a video. But he didn't notice it at all. A child's face. She was staring straight at him from the window. Look closely. You're gonna feel creepy. The face was not only pale and bloodless. The eyes were still pitch black, and there was no sign of turning at all. According to his mother, the house was very shabby. No one has lived in it for a long time. Is this some ghost child? Gorgeous in its day. Some viewers gave reassuring speculations. Could it be the head of a puppet placed by the window to prevent visitors from entering? The man came to the dense woods and saw a white figure in the distance next to a tree not far away. It looked like it was covered in a white cloth, and the part below its mouth seemed to be covered in red blood. And judging by its size, it should be a child, and the man tried to approach it slowly. However, the man got up and fled into the woods as soon as the man approached. The man immediately chased after him, but the man soon disappeared into the woods. Who could this child be? Judging by his outfit, someone must have done it on purpose. What exactly is the purpose of him hiding in the woods? Or is this a man trying to gain traffic? It's just a play to find someone to play with. The video was uploaded by a Reddit user. He was attending a concert at the time. In order to record the cheerful atmosphere of the scene, he picked up his phone and filmed, but he accidentally captured a magical scene. We can see a man in front of the photographer waving his arm in the air, but the weird thing is that there's a swarm of worms above his hand, and these bugs seem to be being manipulated by the man, following the direction of the man's arm swing. And the people around him don't seem to notice this incredible scene, and their reaction is very flat. After the video went viral on the internet, many people abroad believe that this is a symbol before the disaster, because the folk culture of their side believes before the catastrophe occurs, many insects exhibit abnormal behavior. However, some people think that this is just because men don't sweat more hands, thus attracting bugs closer. Do you have the answer? Please leave a message in the comment section. Judging by the shaking of the lens and the jelly effect, this is a video from some years. Two young people explore near a garbage dump close to the bushes. They soon discovered an unknown cross sign on the ground. On Munich, it was mastered. In the middle of the cross is a pale toy head. They were curious about what it was, while moving on. But at this moment, an unexpected thing appeared. What we're going to find? A vague figure in a black robe, which flies in the sky. He's extremely fast. Prepare to fall headfirst in the grass on the left. His movements are distinctly humanoid when slowed down. You can also change your posture at any time. The title of the video is The Flying Witch Captured by the Camera. Is this really a flying witch? Or is it a prop for these two people? It's a pity for this short clip, and it doesn't tell us the answer. 2008, a few people who like to explore at night enter the cemetery in the Mexican state of Chiapas, and here they find some kind of amorphous, terrifying, demonic stuff. If you know what language they speak, you can try translating, in order to better understand the strange things that are about to appear. Just as one of them swept his flashlight towards a tombstone, a long strip of reptilian creature suddenly appeared. At first, you might mistake it for a snake, but in the second half, it clearly has something like feet supporting it as it walks. What the hell is this? Is there any credible explanation? This video was captured on a home surveillance footage. The reason why this monitoring device is installed next to the bed, it's because a mother and daughter have encountered a lot of strange events recently. The reason for everything is that recently the little girl always said that there was a strange man in the house. And sometimes it will be in the closet. This made my mother feel clueless, because there are only two of them in the house. That night, the mother and son lay in bed as usual. But surveillance recorded a gruesome scene. In the video, the little girl suddenly wakes up from her sleep, and judging by the look on her face, she's quite frightened, and she's screaming at the ear. The mother was awakened by the girl's cry and hurriedly hugged the girl and tried to comfort her. All this seems to be in line with the process of waking up a child who thinks he is having a nightmare. But we carefully observed the movements of the little girl. Her limbs and facial expressions stiffened, and she screamed uncontrollably, which combined with the strange events they had encountered recently, could not help but remind her that the little girl was probably possessed by a ghost. However, there isn't a lot of information and follow-up to the video, so we can't know if the video is fake for traffic. But if it's just to win traffic, is it really necessary to let the little girl cooperate like this? This video was uploaded by a netizen named Mindjug. The exact location and time of filming are unknown, but it looks like it should be a surveillance camera in front of his house. Motion detection captured. A figure that looks like a woman appears in the camera out of thin air, and she doesn't have a body, except that she can see her feet in the first moment. And all you can see is her head moving in the camera. And this could be someone's ghost or an invisible person. I think it's probably just a composite video. Or an image error that occurs at night when the camera is in the night. Also for the moment when the figure leaves the camera. The camera caught his shadow. Ghosts or invisible people should have no shadows. It could just be some passing pedestrian. Mexico is a country with a long history. It has gone through iterations of multiple civilizations. Every year, researchers find out a network of labyrinths and tens of thousands of secluded caverns that crisscross the underground. This video was secretly leaked in 2003. A storm has opened a hole in the ground near the Moon Pyramid in Teotihuacan. A secret passage to the underworld has been discovered by accident. This is the artifact that people find in the tunnels. Some of the patterns associated with aliens are related to statues. Where does the location of this mysterious tunnel lead? And whether it is the news that the Mayan civilization is related to aliens, perhaps never open to the public. We can only accept this fact.